Disaster looms large for the country of Japan in its history and therefore in its art, its literature, and especially its modern popular culture. But these Japanese stories of catastrophe are rarely therapeutic or cathartic. Rather, they're recognitions of a basic reality that take the form of fantasy. For sheer scale and quantity of fantasy, it's hard to beat Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira, a legendary anime feature based on his more than 2,000-page manga. Akira takes place in post-apocalyptic Neo-Tokyo. It's 2019 and the city is filled with teenage motorcycle gangs, student protesters, violent revolutionaries, mad scientists, government bureaucrats, soldiers, cops, and wrinkled lime green children with extraordinary powers.
We know the future doesn't necessarily proceed along a single course. There ought to be a future we can choose. It's up to us to find it.
The protagonist is Tetsuo, a motorcycle thug who has an encounter with one of those weird children and acquires extraordinary powers which he cannot control and which consequently put the whole city in peril. But the point of Akira is not narrative coherence. It's not to tell a neat and tidy linear story, but rather it's to give a wide-ranging tour of the city of Neo-Tokyo. The visual effects were groundbreaking when this movie was made, and even now, in the era of 3D and digital animation and CGI, they still look fresh. This is not just a matter of technique or execution, but also, and more fundamentally, of Otomo's prodigious imagination. Akira defies genre. It's a boy's adventure wrapped in a detective story, tucked inside a nuclear allegory, surrounded by a dystopian fable. And although it picks up and discards these trappings almost at random, it does so in the service of creating a sublime and radical new art form.
Akira! I don't know who that is! Ah!
But what is Akira? In the film, he's a bunch of severed body parts preserved in formaldehyde.
Akira.
He's a vulnerable child. He's a messianic figure. But above all, he's the destroyer, symbol of a power that human beings cannot yet understand or control.
I am Tetsuo.